The two launched a defensive maneuver beside the missile. Your fire-breathing dragon is too close. Mason swiftly crouched down, transforming the god's feet into minced pepper. Kaiqi, hidden in the corner, finally showed her skills as the satellite heat map showed. One missile was ready to launch while the cooler held 12 neatly arranged nightmares. Even in a race against time, disarming the VX gas missile had to be done carefully. Even wrapped in crystal clear balls, those toxic substances were as jumpy as a hornet's nest. If even one crystal ball burst, they were out in a minute. Luckily, Mason and Kaiqi worked well together, and she quickly grabbed the missile's guidance chip. Even if the missile launched, it would take a dive into the sea after 500 feet, but then the guard's radio crackled with instructions. Not hearing any response, Hanmo immediately led his team rushing over, and at the crucial moment of the rebel forces' arrival, Kaiqi finally removed the guidance chip from the last missile. Then she dove into the underground mine like a swift swallow, not even catching her breath, when 3 pursuing rebels swooped in. Talk about playing on Mason's turf. She first sprayed fuel on the leader of the rebels and then opened fire like it was the 4th of July. The stealthy lighting of a waterproof match turned the area into a fiery buffet. Then, with a slick flip, she dispatched another, but the almost wrinkle-free Mason found herself outmatched by younger special forces. At the critical moment, Kaiqi rose up in resistance, picked up the pistol that had fallen on the ground, and fired several shots, sending the last pursuer on their way home. Hanmo ordered his men to bring out a hostage, threatening a deadly lottery if the chip wasn't handed over in 3 minutes. The hostage's pleas tensed Kaiqi up, but Mason knew it was important to stay cool as a cucumber. She quickly swatted all the chips from Kaiqi's hands, turning them to dust, warning her not to lose focus. Disarming the missile was the only way to save more lives, so Mason popped up to keep Hanmo distracted and bought more time for Kaiqi. Just as Kaiqi was busy snatching another missile's guidance chip, 2 rebels crashed the party. Before she could escape, she was kicked away but managed to destroy the chip she just removed a lucky break. But soon she was surrounded, and a few minutes later, both of them were stuck in the little dark room. The rebels clearly underestimated Mason. He tore up sheets, made a rope in no time, and easily swung it out through the cell door. As Kaiqi grumbled, demanding how Mason got out, she was in for a surprise. The cell door swung open. With only 3 minutes to spare, Hanmo received a delay call from the Pentagon. So, egged on by defectors, Hanmo gave the launch order, but as the missile approached Silicon Valley, he stealthily altered its target. The next second, the missile flipped above the San Francisco Stadium and plunged into the ocean. Hanmo didn't want to be a real national enemy. Commandeering missiles and hostages was just a ploy for a seat at the Pentagon, but his underlings had a different view. If the operation was called off, the promised $1 million would evaporate into. This led Hanmo to lose control quickly. 2 newly recruited captains teamed up for a coup. Subtitles: the forcibly relieved Hanmo of his command, and immediately both sides were on the brink of conflict when the aide feigned rebellion and unexpectedly shot at the cunning old black the next second. After a wild shootout, the aide fell shot and Hanmo got hurt, while the witnesses jumped in for a brawl. With Mason providing cover, Kaiqi successfully rescued Hanmo, who was on the verge of death, while Mason single-handedly held off 2 rebels. Just as she snagged the toxin, sneaky old black rushed in, and Kaiqi had to outsmart him with the poison. Old Black began brandishing his knife beneath the missile. Kaiqi was instantly stunned and hurriedly pressed the button for missile launch. When the nightmare struck, Old Black was directly blasted away by the shockwave. Another rebel came racing in, and Kaiqi dashed up to the lighthouse to disarm the toxin. In a flurry, she dropped a little green ball. Kaiqi dove after it, barely snagging it at the lighthouse's edge. Then, she dropped the toxin into the lighthouse's water tank, leaped down with the chip and the little green ball. She quickly hid in a warehouse corner and tossed the guidance chip out as bait. As the rebel leader drew near, she burst out striking. After all, chemical experts aren't meant to tussle with special forces. At that life or death moment, Kaiqi popped the little green ball into his mouth and sent him to the floor with a heavy punch. He immediately foamed at the mouth, looking like a lit firework about to blow. Meanwhile, Kaiqi was affected too. She frantically grabbed the antidote, stabbing it into her heart as pain engulfed her. Meanwhile, a bomber loaded with incendiary bombs soared over San Francisco, and Kaiqi had a sudden thought a signal from the green flare. Otherwise, the Pentagon would flatten Devil's Island, and Kaiqi used her last bit of strength to ignite the flare. Shaking and trembling all over, she managed to crawl up from the ground, and then, lying outside the warehouse door, she shouted loudly, "I've got the green flare. I've got the green flare. CQ-1. CQ-1. Green flare. We got the green flare. Give me more, give me more, give me more." Oh no, I dropped it. But it was too late. A hefty firebomb was dropped by the pilot, sending Kaiqi tumbling into the ocean in a rush of air. Luckily, Mason was nearby, leaping into the water to rescue the unconscious Kaiqi moments later.